Hello and Happy New Year. It's now 2025. I'm actually very excited about this year, and I think we were all ready for 2024 to end. I mean, it wasn't technically like a bad year for me, but I will say it was a transformative year, a lot of lessons learned, but there's a few things that I definitely want to implement in 2025 and do differently. So, towards the end of the year, I started to think about what I wanted to actually change, and the two words that came to mind was elevation and experiences, and really thinking about how to highly curate my life the way I want it, design my life fully. So instead of doing like a 2025 yearly goal list, check-in, reset, I kind of wanted to present more of a curated list. Well, I will call the official curated list of all things that you should know about that I'm looking forward to exploring in 2025. This will cover fashion, art, home decor, travel, hobbies. It's basically a list of cool things, places to go, things to do, and it does include some, wish list items, some wish list travel, but we're gonna do our best to manifest these things and plan for these things so that we can accomplish them. So this year, I definitely want to be super intentional about curating and creating spaces that I ultimately desire. I love being around beautiful things, being in beautiful spaces, and I feel like I've done a pretty good job of it so far, but sometimes I question myself if I'm being too extra, if it's doing too much, and no, it's not. I'm actually not doing enough. So that is the mood for this year. That is the vibe that we're going for this year. And I definitely think this list will keep me on track and keep me aligned. And if you are also interested in experiencing more elevated things in your life, hopefully this list can expose you to the beautiful things that are out there in the world that we all deserve to experience. And if you are new to this channel, this is your first time seeing me, my name is Ari. I am a New York City based fashion creator, Brooklyn specifically, and I also work in the fashion industry on the product development, production design end, and that is where a lot of my expertise comes from. I definitely approach a lot of my content and topics with that industry professional elevated eye. So if you're interested in any of that, follow along, like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. So first on the list, we're gonna cover fashion, of course. You gotta start with that. And this is gonna be more of a list of designers and brands that I want to shop more of this year. Also, a few brands that maybe you should know. Brand discovery is one of my favorite things to do. I love to do that when I'm just bored or have a little extra time. A lot of people always ask me where I get some of my more unique one-off pieces from, and it's literally by just scrolling, just Googling, and trying to see what's out there, because I always say emerging brands honestly are making the coolest stuff. And if you're not tapped in or not supporting them, then you're missing out on a lot. So I'll just say that. First brand that I definitely want to get a piece from that I haven't yet, which is a crime, is Dilara Fendi Glue. We know her, we love her, I think she's great, but I definitely want to get one of her dresses or one of her accessory pieces. And I know she just tapped into doing more footwear, but I just want something from her world, her vision, in my closet. The next one is Diotima by Rachel Scott. I love what she's doing. She actually did make history this past November, I believe, during the CFDA Awards, which I feel like did not get enough coverage because she was the first Black female designer to win Women's Wear Designer of the Year. And there was no coverage of that. I was like, that's a big moment, but whatever. That is a historical moment that we should all be celebrating, highlighting, and uplifting. But nonetheless, I definitely want to get some of her knitwear and crocheted pieces. And I feel like this year I'm definitely in more of a dress season. I actually do not own a lot of dresses. I'm definitely more of a separates person, pant top, pant skirt, not too much on dresses. So that is going to be a goal of mine overall, is to shop more dresses of all silhouettes. I need more bodycon dresses. I need more, maxi semi-formal dresses. Even cute little mini dresses for dinner or events. I just need to really rework and revamp all of my dresses. Have Caperni on here as well. I definitely want to get more into their dress assortment. They have this one dress. It's called the Boa Halo maxi dress. I want this dress so bad. I saw it on Livia. I think she wore it for the holidays or whatever. And white, and the boa fur was like the slate gray, but they have it in all black, which is sickening, and it's under $1,000, which is not bad. But it's such a beautiful construction, and the back is like flawless. And one of my other new faves is Phoeben out in London. She is a part of the Central St. Martin's class of designers. And she's been doing really cool stuff for the past few seasons. Did like these silk ruched fabric manipulated tops and dresses. It was kind of a little bit like the Bori fabric technique, but I really like her perspective on how she does her fabrics and all of her fabrication techniques. I'm still looking for this marigold ruched little mini dress that she did. I still want that dress, so I need to find that one. Also want to tap into more menswear. I do have a lot of menswear in my closet already, but I want to get more because if it's good, it's good. So two brands that I definitely need pieces from are Ludon and Bodhi. Ludon has been killing it with their outerwear pieces. They have some of the best outerwear pieces to me right now. The stuff that they're doing with leather is crazy. Of course, Bodhi, with them specializing in patchwork, quilting, embroidery, all of those handwork techniques. I really want either a jacket or a cardigan from them because the craft on Bodhi's pieces are stunning. I've seen them up close. It's worth the money. It's pricey. Also, if you didn't know, Emily Adams Bodhi is from my hometown, Atlanta. Yes. And for accessories, I think my plan for this year is to shop more vintage and archival pieces. One of the brands that I'm definitely on the hunt for to get one of their pieces is Gianfranco Ferrer, who used to be the creative director of Dior back in the 80s before Galliano. And then he also had his own brand that did really well too. But what sparked this was when I went to the Brooklyn Museum for their gold exhibit. They had a lot of his accessories, belts, necklaces, all of that on display. And I immediately started to Google to see if anything was out there, and he has quite a few pieces out there on the resale market, especially on like Vestiaire, First Dibs, all of that. And the prices aren't bad. I think there's a cuff that I want, and there was some like big like gold necklace collar situation too that I saw that wasn't too bad on the prices. So that is the vision for all of our like accessories for the year. So the next topic on my list is stays and travel. Definitely want to do a lot more weekend quick getaways this year, because I honestly started to think about like, if you know about the cost of kind of like going out in New York, a lot of that ends up equaling a flight. Once you start to factor in Ubers to and from the place, it kind of makes sense just to take a flight somewhere versus staying in the city. So we're gonna start local first, and the first one we have is the TWA Hotel, which is connected to the JFK airport, and that one I think we may be doing that very soon. They have the bar that was in the reconstructed like old vintage plane. Next one is the Modern House Soho. This one has the bar called the Jimmy, which is a really cute rooftop situation in the summer. But they did redo this hotel and redecorated the interiors, and it looks super elevated. So now we're gonna go international. And the first one is in my dream travel destination, which is Japan. This is a new discovery that I found out about. It is this private villa on the Awaiji Island in Japan. Like, you have unobstructed views of the ocean. Like, you walk right out to this large glass window and it's just nothing but water. It is so pretty. And I think every room has that big, huge like window to like view everything. I didn't even look at the pricing yet or any of the availability, but that's on the list this year. Fingers crossed. Next we have the Folly collection of properties, which is also part of a membership group too, so you can get a membership and you can have access to all their properties. But they have beautiful properties in the Mojave Desert, Joshua Tree, and then they have a farmhouse as well. The Mojave and the Joshua Tree properties are stunning. Those are my top two that I definitely want to go to. And honestly, the pricing for like a night or two there is not bad. Next, we have the Juve Landscape Hotel, which is in Norway, and that's actually where they shot the movie Ex Machina. And this is like situated in the forest of Norway, very isolated, very hidden, but it's so beautiful. I definitely want to like attempt that for like the winter, fall seasons. I think it'll be beautiful. And such like an escape. We also have the Amman property group, and this is honestly the top for me. I am obsessed with the whole branding of Amman. So my top destinations are Kyoto, Isashima, Greece, Marrakesh, the location in DR, and then the Jackson Hole location as well. I think the Greece location has some of the most beautiful architecture I've seen in a hotel. Some other notable stays that I saw that are definitely on my list are La Calera and Tulum, the Manan, the Suites in Copenhagen. It's literally like a Moroccan villa in the middle of Denmark. It's so pretty. The La Marula Roja properties in Spain. It's in Calpe, Spain. This is a really popular property. I think it was built in 1968, but it's all of those colorful pastel buildings like overlooking the water in Spain. Gorgeous. Going back to the States, also the Bruno Steel House in Ransom Canyon, Texas. That is the Airbnb that I found. In the middle of nowhere in Texas. I actually don't know where Ransom Canyon is in Texas, but the property, the Airbnb is really cute. I also wanted to take time in this list to highlight some of my hobbies that I like to do and possibly expose you to any of these hobbies that you would like to be interested in. But these are fun things that I want to start doing more of or continue, and some new things that I want to start. So the first one is Ikebana. That is the art of Japanese floral making. Those are those super minimalistic floral arrangements that if you've seen them, they are gorgeous. And there's a ton of Ikebana classes in New York. So I definitely want to start to do that. I feel like that would be a good hobby to like decompress from the week. Maybe do it like on a Sunday to reset before the week starts. Book club, reading. I definitely read a lot last year. Last year I picked up way more books than I have in the past. I feel like everybody kind of like jumped on reading last year, but that's a good thing. We all need to read a little bit more. I definitely use reading as escapism. I'm big on fiction. I definitely like the Black romance fiction thing that's happening now. I'm a big fan of the Kennedy Ryan literary universe. I love everything she does, so she can do no wrong to me. So more reading. I would definitely consider filming, cinematography, editing as a hobby now. So I definitely want to learn more like advanced techniques for like editing, color grading, sound design, all of the things when it comes to filmmaking. I started to experiment a lot last year, especially with how I edited some of my videos, and of course incorporating like the whole anime thing that I did. I want to do more of that, really taking everything up a notch and get to the point where it is a little bit of a short film every vlog, every video. I have on here yoga in stunning places because that was my thing too last year. I did yoga on the Edge rooftop in Hudson Yards, and that was a highlight, especially during the summer. And a lot of these yoga studios and yoga instructors teach classes in really beautiful places. There's nothing better than to wake up on Sunday morning, do yoga on a rooftop, and then go have drinks, get mimosas after. Like, hello. I know Public Hotel, the One Hotel, I think Virgin Hotels, they all do yoga and different exercise classes on their rooftop. So I would highly encourage anybody in like whatever city you're in, look up like the exercise fitness classes at these elevated hotels. Like, it's just being in a nice space. The next one is a run club, which I'm still like, I don't know if a run club is played out or not yet, but I did find this run group. It's called Slow Girl Run Club here in New York. It's basically a club where you can walk. They don't pressure you to run. You can walk, you can jog, you can power walk. You can just leisurely stroll, and that's my type of thing. I'm doing more gallery openings, gallery nights. I used to do this a lot when I first moved to New York. Definitely going out to Chelsea on like weeknights, definitely like Thursdays, to see what is new, what has opened, and all of their galleries stay open late nights, usually a few times throughout the month. Going to like the first Fridays at the Met and the MoMA, they always have really cool events there. And going back to First Saturdays at Brooklyn Museum. I haven't been to First Saturdays in a while and I want to go back. So, and I also have spas and retreats on here for hobbies because I do feel like self-care is a hobby if you do it right. We have the Amman Spa, of course, Amman, we got to get there. Remedy Place, which is new. That's also like a membership club situation, but I think you can just go in for treatments. World Spa, Equinox, which I love. That's one of my favorite spas in New York. And there's a lot of really nice retreats like upstate New York and like the Catskills. There's this really nice one called Piala, and then the Shusugi Bon House, which is so nice. It's a Japanese spa up in the Catskills. So I definitely want to try one of those like little weekend retreats out too. So I have on here a little bit of art, so I still need to finish doing the wall scaping in my apartment. So the first one is Sozo Miyaka, and she is a brilliant cartoonist. She does a lot of work with like DC and Marvel Comics. She does a little bit of pinup, a little bit of anime, and she has a few prints available, and then I think she sells some of her comic books. So definitely want to get either a comic book or art print from her. There's Bitch Sieta, and she makes these really cute like Harajuku little facial fruit little catch-all things that are so adorable. And I want the one that she has with the two like faces, cherry stems. I think it's so cute to like store like your keys or like all your little things that you need before you run out the door, like put them in there. There's the Creepax Comics, which a whole comic book series from this Italian comic artist who is very famous, but it's really beautiful illustrations and artwork. So I definitely want one of those art books. And I also want the Barkley Hendricks coffee table art book that got released last year. I love Barkley Hendricks' work. I think I consider him one of my favorite fashion illustrators, even though he's more of a portrait artist. But the way that he does paint and render like fabrics and the outfits that his subjects wear, it definitely is basically a fashion illustration to me. So he's one of my favorites. So we'll move on to the home category because I'm still trying to kind of configure what I want my apartment to look like, what like the vibe is. You know what, there may not be a vibe. It may just be a random collection of everything that I love. The first one is this denim stool by Vedat Olgan. And he does a lot of like found material sculpture furniture, and this stool is made out of all like denim, and I think it's so cool, and I think it'll look really cute in my closet, like in my little closet room. I have the little stool there. The next one that I have on here is definitely a wish list item because it's so expensive, but it's the whole Lawless chair furniture collection from Evan Fay. I'm obsessed with his furniture. Like I would get every piece if I could. But like the stool starts at like, I think like $5,000. Like the little mini like ottoman stool. So it's pricey, it's expensive, it's a wishlist item. I also want to invest more into like wall sconces, and that also ties into kind of finding more unique pieces to create more interesting like lightscapes in my apartment. So like having lighting underneath cabinets, having it underneath shelves, like really creating cool like light sources. So I found a few that I like so far. There's this really big like circular wall sconce that I think I might put in my room. And lastly, I want to invest in more wall art, specifically focusing on like vintage Black Hollywood, vintage fashion photography on the walls. I already have that vintage Naomi Campbell wall print. There's a few vintage Thierry Mugler art prints that I want from some of my favorite shows and photo shoots that he did. And then as far as like the vintage Black Hollywood, like those vintage posters of like Josephine Baker or like the movie posters from Carmen Jones. I'm looking for a Stormy Weather movie poster. That one is a little hard to find because that movie is amazing and iconic. I also want to find an authentic vintage Alvin Ailey poster, like one from like the 70s, 80s, 90s. Not too much the 2000s, 2010s, but something way, way, way back in the day because they had amazing, amazing graphic art. So the last topic is books and publications. I used to be a huge magazine collector back in the day, and I stopped for a minute, and then the magazines started to be like $30 a piece. So I definitely stopped. but I definitely want to get back into it because there's a lot of cool like indie magazines that are still in print. I definitely want to get a subscription for definitely Office, another Sean, O32C. Like those are some of my favorite, like I guess you can call them like indie fashion magazines, but they always have like fantastic editorials. I also want to shop more vintage magazines, especially like from the 80s and 90s. There's tons, of course, on like eBay. There is this one site called MILG Vintage, and they have a ton of vintage like fashion magazines. So I probably will get mine from there. Some other notable publications, you have Riposte, Bricks, Crash, Apartamento for anything that is of your interior design needs. Love that. And of course for books, Kennedy Ryan, talked about her already. Her next book in her series comes out I think in the spring, so I can't wait for that one. Anything of her genre I'm like really into right now. I do want to get more into like maybe the sci-fi genre or just historical fiction or something like that. So that is my 2025 curated list of all things cool, or all things that are cool to me. And that is only a snippet of my full master list. If you're interested in more things and to delve further into these topics, I can put together the full list for you guys to share. If you also want to embark on just more elevated experiences and moments this year. So yeah, there's a lot of cool things coming to this channel. There's a big fashion video coming soon. I will be trying and attempting to style my entire closet because I want to see if I need to go on a no buy this year. That is the problem that I need to solve. It's a big undertaking, but it's kind of fun too. So that will be coming soon. A lot of cool stuff is coming in 2025. We're gonna keep experimenting and keep trying new things. Also, you can find me on Instagram. I know I have neglected that platform for the past few months because I honestly needed a break and got sick of it. But I will be back. I will be back this month, posting, being consistent, doing all the things on there and sharing more on there. Hope this video gave you a little bit of inspiration for planning out your 2025. Bye.